So yeah, very excited to get this started because this is definitely a subject very close to my personal heart as well. So this is something that I think requires deep discussion, and I think we have a great set of panelists here to kind of help us do that. So why don't we kick things off with just basic introductions. So if you guys can take a minute to just talk about yourselves and what it is that your companies are doing, and then we'll take it to slightly more complex topics from there.
Yep. So hello everyone. Hello everyone. This is Wenhao, business development lead at AltLayer. So at AltLayer, we do several scaling solutions. So for example, like rollup as a service, whereby we use existing framework in the space, such as like OP-Stack, Arbitrum Orbit, Polygon CDK, ZK Sync Hyperchain, and also a new one called Scroll. And we kind of deploy everything for our clients. This includes like RPC, explorers, sequencers, etc. At the meantime, we also built a framework which is called Restake Rollup, whereby we build AVSs that are middleware AVSs that aims to enhance our rollup mechanism. So for example, like decentralized sequencing, decentralized verification, and as well as a fast finality layer. And lastly, we recently just released a new product which is called Wizard, which is kind of like an AVS as a service product that allows you to bootstrap your own set of P2P validator nodes with economical backing behind EigenLayer. And basically with this, you're able to have your AVS within 5 minutes, given that you have your software clients ready and up and running in general. Yeah.
Hey everyone, my name is Tigran. I'm a co-founder of Kinetex Networks. Now it's called Kinetex Labs. Previously it was DEX and Bridge aggregator, but now we're most focusing on ZK-like clients. So Kinetex Labs is more about like development team who produce solutions for verification without third parties. And right now we're also launching a Swaps.io. This is like a user interface with the products based on intents. So we're trying to eliminate the problem with needs of users to do all the actions manually. So we are working on a solution where we can delegate, like we have some auxon, and we can delegate it to professional players like solvers, resolvers, it can be brokers, trading agents, no matter how you call it. So it's like some kind of auxon where it's like we notify all the players and they start to compete. So the users, like they can ask to do any actions. So like previously we work with some like kind of manual work. So we need to find like the DEX, bridge, and we need to go to some like pool, get some tokens, but now we can delegate and ask, can you please do for us actions? So that's what we're doing. To be honest, we're supposed to launch on Friday, but we're a little bit late, and the launch will be probably in a few days.
All the best.
Hi everyone, my name is Pranjal. I'm founder of ZeroMile. So we've been in DeFi space for almost 4 years. While running an on-chain perp, we realized that, hey, our liquidity is fragmented. Liquidity of Polygon we were not able to use on Linea, so on and so forth. So we decided to solve this problem ourselves and started working on ZeroMile. So ZeroMile is a concentrated liquidity protocol. So we allow any DeFi dApp to put their liquidity in one chain and have interfaces on 10 different chains. So for users, we are going to abstract the entire journey and ensure that for them it's frictionless experience. They don't have to use bridge again ever.
Hey guys, I'm Jay. I'm the co-founder and CPO at Magic. We started in 2018, so we've been around for a long time, and we've been always working on simplifying on-chain UX. We're the pioneer of wallet abstraction. We've distributed 40 million plus embedded wallets to this date. We just celebrated that last week. The notable customers that we have, the recent one being Polymarket. Of course, with the election, they made a lot of noise. We've been powering them for the last 4 years, and then with Immutable, they have Immutable Passport. We've been powering them with our embedded wallets as well, and then Wallet Connect. On the Web 2.5 side, we have Naver and Forbes that also use our service. And we've been known for embedded wallets, and how we got into chain abstraction is actually because we really optimized to solve UX on the onboarding side, and we actually achieved that by making it really easy for users to be able to log in with like email, SMS, or social login and get the wallet instantly. However, it did create silos, where the wallets are siloed within each dApp, and that plus a lot of chains that are getting launched and a lot of assets that are getting launched and then circulated, we saw a clear need for a solution that really needs to unify all of these. So that's why we also launched a new product called Magic Passport, and that's a chain abstracted wallet, more thought from the embedded wallet point of view. And our path that we're taking is connecting embedded wallets to the main passport product that we're building, and then also making it really easy for the users to just be able to interact with like one account, like one balance, and then not really have to really think about which chains they're interacting with.
Fantastic. So it definitely seems like we have a wide array of like projects here, and not everyone directly deals with liquidity in a sense, right? So, but can each of you just spend like a couple of minutes talking about your users and how they're experiencing the fragmentation problem, and what you guys are doing to solve for that? Maybe when you start first.
Yeah, so as mentioned, we are roll-up as a service provider. Hence, we are the one that cause liquidity fragmentation as we deploy new chains on a weekly basis. And whenever we deploy a new chain, they kind of have like a state where they have a cold start problem. So like lack of users, lack of basic infra, for example, like chain abstraction 2, and as well as lack of liquidity at the moment. And as well as the current architecture of traditional rollups is you have a canonical bridge. And this canonical bridge only attached towards your settlement layer, and you have a bunch of restrictions, for example, like 7 days withdrawal period, and basically you are only able to bridge from your settlement layer to the rollup that you're having in general. So how we tackle this is we use existing provider in the space. So first is there's different standards in the space. For example, like Superchain ERC20, or there's the Layer 0 OFT standards, there's XERC20 standards that we could utilize for basically like interop within chains to chains. Second thing is we use external bridges. For example, there's a lot of modular bridges such as like Hyperlane, Layer 0, Socket, Seller, etc. that we could easily integrate. And basically, the only cons is you are not having the trust assumption of a canonical bridge. However, you have more options to integrate. For example, like you want to integrate from base to your chain, and for example, like Manta to your chain, etc. You have more flexibility in general. And lastly, is using chain abstraction tool. For example, like Magic, for example, like Socket, for example, some of the others like ArtLabs, that we could utilize all of these existing tools and integrate into an EVM environment. And it's relatively straightforward in my opinion. So this is how we tackle it. Yeah.
Great. So you're causing the problem, but composing well with others to solve it.
Yes.
Fantastic. Tigran.
In our case, we're working directly with the people who have a pain. So like a lot of people in the crypto space, they are hunting for some profit, for some points. They want to like be part of new ecosystems, like pools for staking, liquidity, restaking, and all these things. And they need to move liquidity, like fragmented liquidity, quite often. And as I already mentioned, what they do, like in reality right now, a lot of solutions are trying to solve possibility to combine bridge and DEX, not always in a good way. Sometimes it's quite expensive or long, or there's limits, but none of them right now in the market working with the actions. So this work is like quite easy for Degens, but why we call them Degens? Because not much really people in the world outside the crypto can believe that somebody can put billions in a smart contract to produce a virtual token, which will need to more millions to produce one more virtual token, which will produce another virtual token, and this is a full-time job. So that's why we call them Degens. And anyways, they also need to do all this work manually, especially in the gas. So we need to buy gas, we need to transfer gas, keep it for every transaction, like when we want to somewhere stake, or we want to claim rewards, or we want to do withdrawal, and after we need to move to another like network or somewhere. So what we are doing right now is trying to make the market with a little bit different vision, when we can like call this as actions. So we're trying to eliminate the solution, eliminate the need of gas, like especially what we're supposed to like like talk right now about the account abstraction, but account abstraction is also needed for chain abstraction, and chain abstraction can be already integrated with some kind of actions when we can ask professional players, which like inside the sum of platform or Auxon or whatever, that can you please do this action for us? You just need to provide some proofs. It can be like collateral system, or so that our order is secured, and we can delegate to some of them. So that's what we are doing now with the users.
Great. So you're looking to abstract away gas, and then everything else will follow from there with your actions.
Yeah, I think this supposed to be like new kind of generations of applications when we can work with the actions. So like all the projects and networks, I think in like next few years will move forward to this.
Got it, great. Pranjal, you're solving your own problem. Can you tell us how you're going about doing it?
Yeah, so my problem has two different phases. One from a DeFi dApp perspective, and the second is from emerging and struggling L1, L2 perspective. So as a DeFi dApp, imagine even the largest player in this space, like Aave, they have 16 plus deployments. So Aave on Ethereum is different than Aave on Polygon, Arbitrum, and all other chains. And the interest rate, assets, lending, all the opportunities are entirely different. So it's like operating 16 different setups, right? So as an end user, I get the best rate on Ethereum, while my asset might be lying on Base, or I might have some fund on Solana, but there I cannot use Aave. So that's one part of fragmentation which we are solving through ZeroMile. The second aspect is if you are an emerging or growing L1, L2, beyond top 4 or 5, I don't see any L1, L2 having more than, let's say, 100 million type of available liquidity, right? And your users are moving away to other chains because you don't have those successful product market fit dApps, right? You don't have Aave there, you don't have DYDX type of applications. You are struggling to get the right dApp in your ecosystem, and your users are going away. So the solution to that is, if imagine as an L1 or L2, if you could have the top 5 dApp in your ecosystem with the liquidity of Ethereum, or with the liquidity of some of the successful dApp in Solana in your L1, L2, that will bring stickiness to your users. So our solution is mainly designed to cater to these two category of fragmentation.
Got it. Jay, I think you already touched upon the problems that your users were seeing, but do you want to expound on that a bit?
Yeah, I can expand it from embedded wallet point of view. So customers like Polymarket, I don't think they would care as much about chain abstraction right now. For them, the way they really solved their issue was really figuring out what's the best way to onboard users and then be able to just bet, right? And then also stay engaged within using the app. Also, with the users, they're like new, like mainstream type of users that don't really know much about like other crypto or other chains that exist out there. The idea for Polymarket was just using USDC as a way to bet. So for them, I think it's not a clear need right now. But I know that developers, when we talk to them, they always care about interoperability. So I'm sure that's in the back of their mind. Whether that's, I know Polymarket, they use like smart wallet, account abstraction point of view. They may probably want to tap into chain abstraction at some point in time. But I think that's like one example of embedded wallet customers that we have today. Definitely, majority of the customers we have today, they really think about multiple chains in mind when they think about building a dApp. And also, whether it's DeFi, NFT, or these other like verticals that are out there, they want a great infrastructure that really has the simplicity of abstracting away all this complexity. And chain abstraction does cover a lot of assets within the space. So I would say from our point of view, it's quite early in terms of like what are the exact use cases that can be born from chain abstraction. But from the infra need, there's a clear need that there needs to be a solution like this that all players here can work together to come up with it and then define the next era of like what the infra can unlock.
Got it. Just on that note, maybe Jay, you can start first here. What's the sort of like massive unlock that we hope will come about for users, applications? I know you already touched upon it and said that Polymarket probably does not need it, but if you were to look at like Polymarket a year from now, and if say everything goes to plan on the chain abstraction side and solving for fragmentation, What's that big unlock going to look like?
Yeah, I think I'm really excited on 7702. I think once that comes out, that really gives like the powerful features on the smart wallet on the EOA directly, right? So for Polymarket, as a user, like maybe there could be another dApp that has like perps or like features on the bets that you make, and that's another dApp, not Polymarket, that's offering that service. For you to be able to tap into that dApp with the embedded wallet that we provide with combination of 7702, and then maybe there's like another UI widget on the wallet side to kind of like facilitate that UX. Then in that case, I think it can really unlock all the users on Polymarket to be able to kind of like cross like pollinate across all these dApps that are out there. And that's what we think could be the next wave, not just us, like other embedded wallets in this space. There are a lot of wallets that are out there that have all these assets kind of just scoped within the wallet. And once those guys are unlocked, then I think that can create a lot more than just like third-party wallet users. So that's one. And then the other one is like with chain abstraction, like assets, and how you think about chains, and then even like eigen. Like there's so many layers that are coming up, and once chain abstraction really makes it easy to combine and use all of them together, I feel like there will be new use cases that will come up for sure. And one real one is definitely like Coinbase or these centralized exchanges. I think that's a great example of like chain abstraction. And there's like Infinix, and there are other cool DEX, like chain abstraction focused dApps that are out there. That's a great start. I hope it's not just the trading. I hope there are more use cases that can be born on top. So, but we'll see.
Got it. Yeah, Pranjal, you want to take a shot at what should be the ideal user experience?
So I think the major outcome would be entry barrier would be reduced. Today, to successfully run a chain or to successfully run a DeFi dApp, there are certain benchmarks, right, in terms of which chain you should be part of, how much you're going to spend in your user acquisitions. Imagine a new chain getting access to Polymarket, Pump.Fun, Aave, and all other dApp on day zero without worrying about the liquidity. If they could source liquidity of Ethereum, they could use it in the chain on day zero. Pump.Fun type of use cases from Solana ecosystem. Then it becomes a different playground, right? It's not about how much liquidity is locked in your chain, right? It's about what type of innovation you are bringing on top of it. So I think we are reducing the entry barrier in this, with the use cases we are going to solve.
Got it. Tigran, ideal user flow.
I think the really one of the biggest unlock what we need to see on the market is communication, when we can make free communication, because the gas right now is like the barrier for this. So we can communicate with the backend of different projects, but this is not enough. So when we can communicate with the contracts, that's the solution what like we are searching right now. I mean the whole industry in a way of chain abstraction, account abstraction, is when we can like do it on chain or between chains to eliminate the needs of keeping gas. So we can send the messages for free. And we also need to think about the structure, how to protect it from the DDoS and other possibility of attacks. But I think if we talk about like just targetedly user experience and UI, so that's one of the biggest barrier.
Yeah, for me, I think that the user experience is they kind of forget the existence of blockchain in general. So for example, like at this current moment, there's a lot of roll-up SDKs in the space, such as Optimism, Polygon CDK, and as well as ZK Sync. They are all trying to build up like a framework that allows chains to speak to each other easily. For example, Superchain, you have the same set of configuration, which is ETH, and all of these chains are able to speak to each other easily. And it's like the user experience is like you can play a tic-tac-toe game from base, and you're playing with a user in OP mainnet. So this is like really abstracting the experience of using a blockchain. Instead, they are just feeling like I'm just playing a computer game with an existing user on another chain. And I could have financial aspect behind it. So for example, the bet could be happening on base, and the rewards could be receiving on OP mainnet without any like complications of blockchain technology inside in general. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. So users just use apps.
Yep. There's no blockchain. It's just users using applications. That's all.
Fantastic. Yeah, I buy that. I buy that. Yeah, great. So it does seem like chain abstraction is this massive silver bullet. It's going to solve all our problems. Everything's just going to get hidden away. It's going to cure cancer, maybe a bunch of other things along the way. But let's try and see if we can do a reality check in terms of trying to see if you guys have any sort of like insights into what is sort of missing right now in our collective plan to kind of solve this fragmentation problem. What are the realistic issues? What are the caveats that users ought to know about? That it's not this, perhaps this silver bullet. And what should we be all mindful of as an industry building towards solving for fragmentation? Jay, why don't we start with you again?
Yeah. Right now, I'm seeing two paths of solutions that are being presented. One is solving the current fragmentation problem from UX point of view. So let's say you're trading across all these different EVMs, and then right now on most of the wallets, when you see USDC, it says like ETH and then Optimism. Like there's so many chains that are listed, right? And obviously, you want to aggregate into one. I think that's a great use case for a current customer base that know what the problem is. And I think that's a great customer base to really focus on too. So that's one problem that I think will be solved pretty soon. The other side is, I think we need to reimagine how the dApp should be built from ground up. Like when you look at like the Aave or the early like Uniswaps of the world, like the early dApps, they were built from like the single chain point of view. And I think for the new dApps, we really got to think about collectively how can we educate the new developer or the existing developers on building a dApp that could be using multiple chains at once, or it could just be tapping into certain protocols in different chains, right? And I'm not seeing much discussion on that happening right now. And I hope that that's something that we start to really focus on once we have like the building blocks of the infra ready. Yeah, between all players here. Yeah.
Yeah, Pranjal.
So last for 5-6 years, we have seen two different generation of products around cross-chain side. The first, we saw some early development in bridge technologies. The second layer of innovation was done with layer 0 and XLRs and others, right? I believe a third generation of product is evolving that is mostly backed by intents and without worrying about, how each and every transaction is getting settled. So I believe the bridging as a technology or cross-chain as a use case is evolving, right? And we are in the third generation phase. And once this unlocks, a lot of new use cases, will automatically be built. As you mentioned that some of the newer application will not be built with single chain mindset, right? You would not worry about having just deployment on one particular chain. You would just extract away that complexity from user perspective, and you would allow your users to use the dApp from any chain, wherever their liquidity is lying.
Got it. Great. Tigran.
I think the fragmentation liquidity is a result of all the experimental works, because like the crypto, as I see right now, is some part of experimental developments. So each network chain, they have benefits. They're trying to create their own technology. It can be like modular system. It can be roll-ups, L2 networks. It can be different chains with like different type of cryptography, speeds, all of these things. And fragmentation liquidity, there will be much more. But I don't think this is a bad. I think that the problem that each network right now need to individually solve this problem. So they need to create a bridge or native bridge, or they need to ask some protocols to help them. They also need to bridge it, create a DEXs, liquidity. So probably the solution might be in some part of miscommunication here between the projects which involved in the market. So probably the solution can be one kind of like universal platform where the community and builders, they can upload different like part of intents, especially might be some auction or whatever, where the brokers, agents, and all of them, they can receive these orders and fulfill it. And in this part, the liquidity will be like the part of the community, the part of the game of community of each network who want to support this network. And fragmented liquidity, I think it's we need it because we also can make a profit on it, especially like what we do right now. If like oracles or price change not in the same time as on other networks, it's a spread, it's arbitrage spread. And that's why we have a volume here, we have a profit here. Well, we like it. We really don't want to like put it out of the game, but we need to have some solution where we can communicate more easily. And the modular system is might be one of the might be one of the solutions, but we need to do it jointly.
Got it. Great. Thanks. Yeah. When what are we potentially not seeing or not communicating, and users need to know?
I think that we are currently not missing anything within the chain abstraction space because there are a lot like open standards that are being built out at this current stage. But I feel like at this current stage, it's just that we don't have enough like unified states shared across rollups at this current moment. As currently, like most of the chain abstraction tools have kind of like a high benchmark, or there's a lot of effort that you have to put in to integrate this SDK, or there's a lot of BD efforts that you have to kind of fit in the pipeline within the chain abstraction team in general. So I feel like we have to create a more open source standard that anyone could basically adopt this chain abstraction tool. At the meantime, lower the benchmark of utilizing this chain abstraction tool when you're deploying the chain in general. Because we have seen multiple projects that wanted to have base infra. To start phase, like they need to pay for this provider, they need to pay for that provider, they have to bootstrap nodes, they have to bootstrap additional relayer nodes, etc., which cost them a lot of money. So I feel like, for example, like Optimism is a very good example whereby they have this super chain standard, whereby people can just bootstrap an OP stack chain that fulfills their standard configuration, and basically they can utilize the feature that is open source and free and easy to use in general. So yeah, so in general, it's like we need more open source standards for people to follow in general.
Yeah, especially we need like some universal standards for intents, because the intents is a part of when we can, as you already say, users can communicate only with the applications. So on a modular system, this can be like layer of execution, of verification, all of these things, but the user don't need to know about it. So user communicate only with the application, and we need standardization of language for intents.
Got it. So essentially, we're saying like if the solutions could basically come from upstream of apps, then it becomes very easy for applications. Got it. Great. So yeah, so this is something that I've particularly noticed is that teams in the chain abstraction space trying to solve for it actually play nice, very nice with each other. And everyone wants to compose with each other and work with each other. And unlike a lot of these other sort of like niches where there's all like Twitter drama every day, where people are calling out each other and saying your solution is just not as good as my solution and things like that. So what gives here, and why is this such an important thing at this point in time? Like playing nice, wanting to compose, those sorts of things. When maybe
I think in general it's just better for the industry. At the moment, a lot of things are not mature enough. One of a good example is AltLayer. Polygon team have introduced this interop solution, which is called AltLayer. As long that you follow their standards and you have ZK proof integrated together on your rollup, then you can enjoy the benefits of AltLayer because the states are shared across the AltLayer which Polygon have developed in general. I feel like, as mentioned, as long you have a standard that people are able to follow, definitely like you are able to foster more collaboration. At the meantime, basically it's better for the industry. We're not in a situation whereby it's time to compete. Instead, it's a time for us to work together with each other in general. Yeah.
Got it. Tigran. Good job.
Can you please repeat the question?
Yeah, why are we all playing nice with each other, and why is this relevant or important?
It is. It is important because actually we have like all this like different experiential, and we have connections between like if we talk about in a ecosystem like chains, so the chains they also need another projects on it. So they need the DEXs, they need the landings, they need the ecosystems, environment, infrastructure, everything. And communication between projects, it's part of the globalization. So it's a part when the users can have not just one step, one action. They have possibility to work with the needs, and we can cover it. And the way, for example, like if you take a look on traditional economics, to produce something, we need the previously also work of different companies. And that's the same, similar to the crypto. So it's not really possible to imagine that one company can do like everything just inside the one team. So that's part of the game.
Pranjal.
I believe this reduces our time to market, and all the problems we are trying to solve, these are large problems, right? And if we have to solve as a company, and let's say the solution involves 7 different steps, probably time to market would be far longer than what we are doing by collaborating with each other. Like today, if there is any protocol which has already achieved certain scale in terms of intent solver network, we would be more than happy to just integrate. We don't want to solve that problem. It has already been solved by someone. Same way, like we were one of the early players to look at AltLayer wizard product, right? Because it solves certain problem for us, and building it from scratch, it would require different level of time and competency. So I think it's better for everyone to utilize competencies of each other, figure out some composability, and grow together. And these are large opportunities. I don't think winner takes all is the mindset here. There is enough opportunity for every player in this space.
Yeah, plus one. Like I've been in the space since 2018, and I know like what the competition was like. And looking back, it was just worthless. Like I feel like everyone should have just worked together, and then, like you said, like time to market would have been a lot faster. That's one. And then the pie is still very small, so like it doesn't make sense for people to really compete for that small pie. I think everyone should just work together to like grow the pie. Once that pie is grown, I mean, it's Web3. We're gonna like it's easier for us to touch a lot of the parts in the world. So once that pie is really grown, I think there'll be enough for everyone to be able to, share together. And also like when it comes to competition, I feel like on the tech side it should be more like collaboration. On going to market, I feel like that can be looked at from a different perspective, where like it could be like the community vibe. And then like how you engage with their consumers, and I feel like that's where the competition can be more focused on, not really on the tech. And like you said, again, go to market, the time to go to market, I think that's very important. And we've been around since Bitcoin started, like more than like 13, 15 years now. So I think the next 3 to 5 years, we really got to make a mark. And I hope that with chain abstraction, which does touch a lot, I hope that we can do it.
Got it. Great. No, those are extremely nice insights. We are now at like almost at the end. So one last question, and this is just for fun, like an exercise that we can try and do. Let's say the modular thesis in Ethereum wins out. L2s are basically proliferating. We are able to bring block space costs down to 0, literally. We have account abstraction, gas abstraction, chain abstraction, everything in place, right? So what is that one app that you think will probably get built, according to you, when we have this utopia? Jay?
I mean, cliche is AI, but like I was just thinking about like how each person, would it be like a job that each person has when it comes to making money through chain abstraction, all these other, cool tech that will be enabled with Web3. So, and then the other angle I thought about was like more like a super app. I don't think right now, due to the limitations, you're able to work on a dApp that spans across multiple verticals. There's so many challenging problems that already exist, like within NFT, for example, or within DeFi and etc. But if all those costs go away and all the complexity of that go away, then I feel like a super app that just makes it very simple to use all of that together, I think would be very cool. But not sure if it's like if that is like a value add for the Web3 ecosystem as a general. I'm just speaking about this, like assuming that's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, sure. I think personal opinion. What is that one app? And I think that's probably a good idea. I mean, especially in places like Thailand, Singapore, is where you see these super apps.
Right, that's true.
They're really cool and
Yeah.
they work. Great. Pranjal.
So again, I would like to see bunch of application, but if I have to choose just one, probably that would be Wikipedia. Imagine if it is truly decentralized and the contribution, everything is coming from different side without worrying about gas costs. And that would be truly different level of experience.
Got it.
But I will still keep working on automation. So I will try to automate different players and combine different actions because I see the potential of this.
Automating DeFi, you mean?
Yeah, but not also the DeFi. For example, that's a good question. For example, like I like the idea of RWA. So when I can buy like some part of property, like a commercial property in Manhattan or New York. So just take imagine like how long it will take for you to buy some property in the US, and after this lend it, like to get more assets and make a leverage, and how long it will take for you to quit, like to exit this position. It will take months, maybe probably, but now we can do it in one click. Not right now is like I cannot say that right now I saw like any solution with a self custody. So most of them is like part of the centralization they have. But in the future, how cool if I can just in one click buy some property, or I can buy like let's say the rights on a car or iPhone, and I can arbitrage it in another country. So we need automation. So we need to take like collaborations between different projects, and we need to have like, some place like where we can do it. So I think that's can be a future of DeFi when we integrate it and introduce it to the real world assets, and we can like start to work with marketplaces, property, all of these things. So we can buy like shares, oil or whatever, and users that don't care what happened on the back end. So they just see that I can put like my stable coins in a yield, for example, or I can buy this and I can sell it in another country, and I don't need to convert one fiat to another fiat because I can work like in a digital space. That's a part of globalization.
Got it, great. Yeah, when? So if someone comes to AltLayer, deploys an app chain or an L2, and has all of these features one click away, and they're able to kind of add it, what's that one app that you want to see built?
I feel like when we have unlimited block space and as well as chain abstraction ready, we should just think about moving Web2, all of the Web2 applications to Web3. And basically like ditch the traditional Web2 servers and move to Web3. And to have decentralized aspects, to have like all of the blockchain elements that we believe in the Web3 space. And it's time to, like as mentioned by Jay, grab the market share and build like the next internet era or something like that. Yeah.
Fantastic. On that extremely positive note, we are at an end here. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for sharing your thoughts and insights. A round of applause, please. Thank you.